Now, the long-awaited judicial review to decide the fate of King Richard III's remains got underway at the High Court today.
Yes, the last Plantagenet King of England was found in Leicester 2 years ago. But since then, there's been controversy about where he should be laid to rest. There are plans for a reinterment at Leicester Cathedral, but a group called the Plantagenet Alliance say he should be reburied in York. Rajiv Popat sent this report from the High Court.
King Richard III was killed at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485. His bones were found under a car park in Leicester in September 2012. The University of Leicester announced that his remains would be reinterred at Leicester Cathedral, in line with the terms of a licence granted by the Ministry of Justice. And it's the terms of that licence which are now under the spotlight. The judicial review at the High Court has been described by some as the War of the Roses Part 2. It's been brought by a group who call themselves the Plantagenet Alliance. They argue the licence should be annulled and the remains taken to York. They're represented by Gerard Clark QC. He told the court that if the views of distant relatives of the king and those of the public had been taken into account, the monarch might have been buried by now.
When you dig up the remains of a historically, culturally and politically significant figure, there ought to be more consultation than a pro forma licence application between the Ministry of Justice and the University of Leicester. More people should have been involved in that decision.
There are plans for the last Plantagenet King of England to be laid to rest at Leicester Cathedral. It will also involve a procession from Bosworth battlefield to the city. Mr. Clark QC said that other kings who had passed away were afforded a full royal burial. They were, in his words, given the full shilling. He said that wasn't the case with King Richard III. He also said that the Secretary of State had failed to revisit the decision to grant a licence once it was confirmed that the remains were those of the king. A legal representative from the Ministry of Justice said there was no statutory duty for a public consultation. The review was adjourned until tomorrow. Rajiv Popat, ITV News at the High Court.